Why, hello there. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 21 of the Long Comics Book Club, a bi-weekly podcast about long comics, also known as manga and graphic novels. My name is Shane, and I'm the older brother. I'm joined by Spence, the younger brother. Spence, what's your favorite cause of the apocalypse in media?
Zombies are a goldie but a goodie, But you know what? The weird zombies. It's like Triffids. Yeah, Triffids. That's the best one.
And what is the cause of Triffids?
Day of the Triffids, like a really an old book. It was like the very first zombie apocalypse story, except rather than zombies, it was like sentient plants.
Oh, so like a... Wait, there was a video game about the Last of Us situation.
Yeah, but like Last of Us like turns people into fungus zombies. Day of the Triffids is just straight up. No, these are walking plants.
Hmm, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So a Plants vs. Zombies scenario, if you will.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Perfectly. And the
Well,
funny part is like Triffids are so pathetic that they have to like make the entire planet go blind before they can take over. So it's kind of an interesting story because it's not the Triffids don't cause the apocalypse. It's that the apocalypse happens because everyone goes blind and then the Triffids take over.
okay. So it's almost like a opposite of the Silent Place,
Or the Quiet Place?
the
Yes.
Quiet Place. It's like a opposite Quiet Place story
Yeah,
where
kind of.
everyone's blind instead of having to be mute.
Yeah. Except it's all, like a handful of people can still see. And that's like our main characters. But most of the world is blind.
Well, the good news is we're talking today about our favorite book, Attack of the Triffids.
I'm sure they made a
No.
graphic novel version of that at some point, but
At
yeah.
some point. Well, maybe we'll circle back to that one in the future, but that is not today's conversation.
No, it
Today,
is
of
not.
course, is talking about the long comic we read over the past 2 weeks, which is actually Why the Last Man. If you're not familiar with our podcast, we're going to take the first half of the show to talk about Why the Last Man. We're going to give reactions, takeaways, discussion points, book club things. And then for the second part of the show, we'll chat about some of the other media we've consumed recently. To make sure you avoid spoilers, we'll include time codes in the episode description, and then we'll end the episode by introducing the next long comic. And the next episode is going to be a special one. More details coming at the end of this episode, but that special episode is going to be coming out on November 22nd. Why it's special? Well, you'll just have to wait until the end to find out. To,
Exciting.
to be notified of when the podcast drops, give us a follow on Instagram or Blue Sky Long Comics Book Club, and we also have a Discord where we want to hear from you. Let us know what you've been thinking of the books that we've been reading. Give your own talking points, discussions, etc., etc. And all of these links are on our link tree, where one of the links is to VesperiaComics.com because Spence, of course, the owner and proprietor of Vesperia Comics, physically located at 1935 West Broadway in Vancouver, British Columbia. Spence, how's it going at the shop?
Things are going good at the shop. Getting ready for the Christmas season. We had yes, as we mentioned last time, the Vancouver Comic and Toy Show. That was, yeah, had that. Went all right. Now, yeah, now we're getting ready for Christmas. Not a ton of other no real events coming up at this point.
Yeah, so start hanging up the holly and the mistletoe month and a half early.
Yeah. Well, this is owning a shop. You have to like be ahead of everything for the Christmas
That's
stuff.
Yeah, you got to get on the ball. You got to be
Yeah.
prepared.
It's not even Remembrance Day for yet, but still got to be ready.
Still got to be ready. Do you put up any kind of Christmas decorations in the
Never had
shop?
this before, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, throw a string of lights on your big Superman figure or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of
Dig it.
course, if you want to go find out if Spence has decorated the shop to look like a Christmas scene, you'll have to swing on by. And maybe while you're there, you can pick up the long comic we're talking about today, Why the Last Man? Because jumping right into it. If you haven't read the book yet, then you want to avoid the spoilers, this is going to be the time to look at the time codes, jump ahead, and if you haven't read the book and want to listen anyways, that's great. And maybe this conversation will help you decide if it's worth picking up. Suspense, kicking us off. Why the Last Man, written by Brian K. Vaughan with Pia Guerrera and Jose Marzan Jr. Why did you choose this
Why did I pick why?
why? Why?
Well,
Why did you
why?
pick this for a long comic to talk about?
Because yeah, I think as I mentioned last episode, this is like one of my favorite ones back in university. Like read the whole series back then and that, so I just wanted to revisit, and it's a really unique just a unique story. So I'd be interested to see how if it still holds up. And also the bonus, which I didn't even realize at the time, Pia Guerrera is a Vancouverite.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How did you find out they're Vancouverite?
Someone mentioned it at the store actually. They saw the Pia Guerrera, the Why the Last Man one in our little long comics book club's little like display, and they mentioned that. So I looked it up
Oh,
later. It's like, huh, cool.
there you go. Yeah. Well, that's pretty nifty. There you go, Pia Guerra, the artist.
Yeah.
Um, Very cool. What a fun little factoid. There you go. So getting some local representation. And how many volumes of Why the Last Man is there? So we read the first two volumes, and that's what we'll be
Yes.
talking about today.
That I want to say like around 10, but the internet is a beautiful thing, so it's easy to check.
That's true.
Um, it was collected in yeah. Okay, yeah, 10 volumes was originally collected into.
Okay, there you go. So we read the first 20%.
Yeah.
Uh, and so coming back to it, so it's been a decade plus since you read it. How
Yes.
was it to go through it again for you?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was like, oh, this is like aggressively early 2000s, but like,
Aggressive.
yeah,
Aggressively early 2000s. Yeah, that's not the worst description in the world. And like you said, it is unique. So for those that are not familiar with this story, the very simple plot summary is that it's 2002. Yeah, right
yeah,
after everyone's
yes,
a certain event of 2001. And
yeah.
but a plague of unknown origin has killed all of the male mammals on Earth, all except an amateur escape artist named Yorick Brown and his surly helper monkey, Ampersand. And as the last remaining Y chromosome carriers on the planet, Yorick and his pet hold the fate of humanity in their hands. And so they team up with gun toting government agents, world's premier bioengineer, to try and figure out the secret of the plague. But they're also trying to avoid the radically transformed America with the man hating daughters of the Amazon right behind them and an unplanned stopover in a seemingly utopia town in Ohio.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty apt description of the first two volumes of
You
that.
could almost say I was reading it off the back of a book. I
There you go. Yeah.
was cheating a little bit. But nice to actually get the official description on the back there. Because, yeah, I mean, that's pretty great as a succinct description. I don't really think it misses any key points.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with it being an interesting take, being sort of world run by women with only the two men for now, but we do find out at the end of volume two that there are also men in space.
Yes.
So see how that comes up later. But yeah, I was trying to think about the genre for this, and I'm curious what you would think it was.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of like weirdly enough, I would call it like an adventure.
Hmm.
Is like the standard thing, which 100% follows through. Basically, it's like Yorick 355 and Dr. Man go to some new place, meet some new people, like yeah, and meet some new people, like learn some new issue, like deal with whatever issues are handling there, and move on to the next place. That kind of is what follows from like for each volume.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, which is a very interesting storyline because I also thought this was it's in a weird place for me, this one, because it's not bad by any means. I think it's really well written and I think it won some awards for its writing.
Yes.
Um, but it's yeah, there I was trying to put my finger on why it felt weird to read. And what I sort of landed on is there's two things. One is that Yorick is fun as sort of like a smart talking escape artist with his monkey. I think he's a fun lead, but he doesn't have a good motive. His motive is that he wants to get to Australia to see the woman that he tried to propose to over the phone, um, which isn't a super strong motive
Yeah.
when the world has collapsed around him. But nevertheless, that's his motive. But I think the part that's really interesting that you just sort of touched on there is that he doesn't have a lot of agency. He very much is not in control of this story.
No.
It's- Some would
Yeah,
say he has no control over this story, which it makes it a really weird thing to read because it's very much that you have this extremely passive character being pulled along through this world, uh, which is fine. It's interesting and it's an interesting world to explore. But without him having a lot of sort of like the self-determination, I don't know. I think it takes out a lot of the stakes almost. It's hard to describe. Um, but
interesting.
I
Interesting. Yeah.
no, you go for it.
I was just thinking because it's like Yorick, especially when I was reading, it's like, okay, yeah, this is he is very clearly supposed to be an audience, like one of the most audience insert characters I've ever read.
Hmm.
Like, like the idea of like the like I don't know what I don't do they give him his exact age? He feels like he's like a 22-year-old just out of university, can't get a job, kind of like trying to figure out what he's doing with his life. I feel like that's the ideal person to be reading this kind of comic. So yeah, I guess I was reading them in university, but
I
yeah,
was
I can
gonna
very
say
much
that does
say,
sound like very close to when you were.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good description. That does feel like he's an audience insert. That he's meant to sort of be like stand in for the I don't want to say the male fantasy, uh, but to some effect, I guess it kind of could be
but
perceived
also
that way.
they're pretty good about like the whole you're the last man on earth and the rest of the world's only women. It's like yeah, there would be some like this would not be like your harem anime.
No, which I
No,
appreciate a lot. So I did appreciate that that's very much not, and everyone is either confused to see him or mad to see him. And no one's like, "Ooh, a man." They're like, "What are you doing alive?" And like, get away from here. Which I did appreciate, but I think that you're spot on with that. That is sort of the vibe I get in terms of who this is sort of the intended audience of. But at the same time, I think that it is really, I'm glad that it's this way. I'm curious, what do you think it would look like if it was the other way? If it was the last woman alive? Do you think it would be a similar storyline? Do you think it would be completely different?
Hmm. Yeah, well, the interesting thing about that is this is kind of a spoiler for the story,
Hmm.
but like way later, that's actually a thing that happens. Is they find like
Oh,
someone writes a story in universe of what happens in the reverse of that.
that's very funny.
Yeah,
I imagine it would probably be very similar to what's happened here.
yeah,
Because,
yeah. Well, since they go into like full on like apocalypse, like wars and stuff break out for with it. It's only
hmm,
men left. Yeah.
mhm,
And it's yeah they go like a level deeper. It's like one woman and her horse, so the only two surviving
right. That's pretty cool.
women.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like the idea of just someone traveling around on a horse instead of, I guess, a guy with a monkey on his shoulder. But yeah, I think that the way they approach this is really good because I don't think anyone's is sort of like, if there was no men, everything would be great in the world. Like, I don't think anyone sort of has that real perspective, but I appreciate this as like an honest take as what could it look like as a hypothetical? Because I imagine it actually probably wouldn't be too, I mean, like, I have no idea. It's pretty dark, but I appreciated the idea that it's essentially no matter what half of humanity you lose, like
Yeah.
it's going to be awful because the world
Yeah.
needs one another to operate. And so I like that it just like went right into the logistics that it's like, no, you just like lost half the population, people who are driving, planes, your energy grids. Like you need people working to make these
Yeah.
things work. So if you lose half your population, essentially all of your infrastructure is toast. It's not, that's not just a man thing or a woman thing. That's just sort of like a population reality thing.
Yeah. Well, like I'm pretty sure even if like you could mathematically figure out who the least important half of the world is, if you killed like the 50 least important, it would still like cause massive society upheaval, no matter who it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It
There's no
doesn't. It
way to
literally doesn't
break
matter
it.
who it is. If you're killing, I think at this time 3 billion people, yeah, gonna
Crazy.
cause apocalyptic
Yeah. Just
effects.
gonna sort of inadvertently result in, yeah, chaos. So I appreciated that it felt like an honest take on it. It didn't feel like, I mean, it is sci-fi obviously because of the nature of it, but it still felt grounded in reality
Yeah.
in the way that things proceeded. And obviously it gets a little crazy with like the Amazons. But
Yeah, but
at the
honestly,
same
that
time,
see if this kind of crazy upheaval happened, sure, some cult leaders would show, and they very much. I think I didn't realize it as much originally. Like they are just straight up like cult.
mhm. Oh,
Like
100%.
when I first read it, I think that like the cultiness of it kind of went, or at least I forgot about that part.
Hmm,
But yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, but for sure they're a cult, and they do a good. And I mean, it's convincing as well. The sort of the argument that they would be able to undertake, and the brainwashing that happens with Hero, especially.
yeah.
It's all very, yeah, it's all very well written. It's a really good story. I think that it is really interesting. Really, the main thing I have is just Yorick's passiveness in it. But that I understand that that's also so that he's not dominating the spotlight, and that it's also giving opportunity for the actual story to happen. Because I think it'd be weird if he was like the savior and everyone's like worshiping him as the man that's going to save humanity. That would leave a bad taste for sure. So
Yeah.
I think they sort of put themselves into a situation where Yorick is kind of the best that he can be in this narrative in which he's thrown into,
Yeah. I
writing
mean,
themselves into a corner in some capacity. But he's an escape artist. He'll get out of that corner.
yeah. And well, and once again, not to spoil, but like they do go a lot more into like Yorick's mind state and stuff as the story goes on, and
Mhm.
what it would mean to be the last man left on the like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is maybe, I mean, that's what's tricky about the first two volumes is always the question that we recognize that there's more to these stories than what we talk about, but what's important is it strong enough of a start to hook you in further? And
Yeah.
this one I'd say it's a medium one. I'd say it's one where if it's sitting in front of me, yeah, I'd probably pick it up and read it further because I'm curious because they do a good job with building up the curiosity, but I wouldn't actively seek it out in the same way, I don't think.
Mm,
But I think there is good snippets of that, like when he finds out that his dad's passed and he
yeah.
has that angry freak out. I think that that's some of the best parts is like the real feeling of it, like seeing him have that meltdown. One of the things that they do in this that I don't remember seeing in anything else we've read that I love is that when you have people cut each other off and their speech bubbles overlap the other person's speech bubble. I love that. I think that's so good because I think that's the most accurate portrayal I've seen of cutting someone off. Because normally what it is it's like a dash
Yeah.
to cut someone off, but in this one it's just that their speech bubbles visually overlap, which I think is really great. I think that's a super cool way to show that. And the art, I mean, just the visual and in general, as we're talking about it, it's very 90s. It's if or I guess early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's so hard to explain
Well,
how you can
yeah,
always tell when it's like this is the decade of this art style.
yeah. It's well, like I said, it's aggressively early 2000s. So
Mhm.
like it feel like you can feel like the post 9/11 everything that's going on with like a lot of the political stuff that they talk about.
Mm.
And then there's a lot of words they use that's like, yeah, that was like normal back in the lot of R slurs going on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true as part of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is aggressively, and to be clear, it's aggressively in terms of something, not the visual. The art style is not, I mean, it is like, I wouldn't say it's aggressively early
Yeah,
2000s,
but
but
it's
it is
pretty true early 2000s stuff.
2000s. But it's not aggressive in the same way that some of those other pieces you touched on. Uh, yeah, I mean the art is good, but it's not noteworthy, is how I would describe it. It
Mm.
does its job, and it pretty clearly locates it. Yeah, early 2000 stuff. Boy, certainly some of the dialogue pieces. But what is why are the IDF in this? I mean, I know they'll come in later,
Yeah.
but I was not expecting to see the Israel Defense Force
Yeah.
making an appearance in this.
But I think the big thing what they're supposed to exam is that how Israel has like the most female soldiers in the world.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't know that.
like as in the proportion, I think they even mentioned that. Like in proportion of their army, they have the highest percentage of female soldiers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that would explain why it's
So
them.
I think the idea is like, oh, Israel's now like a military powerhouse because they actually send women into combat directly.
Hmm. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. They also mention other random stuff like, oh, do you now Australia and Norway are now the only people who have submarines because they're the only ones who let women serve on
Oh,
submarines.
interesting. Look at all these interesting facts that we learn as
Yeah,
an tragic
because that
consequence.
yeah, at the end of the first volume they do go through all that like random factors that was like 99% of all like airline pilots are now dead, but
Hmm.
49% of agricultural workers are still alive.
I think one of the women is like, "We're not here to listen to your facts."
Which,
The
yes, when Victoria's going off on like the full on, yeah, outside, like just giving like, yeah, random facts, they're like, come on.
Yeah, and the criminal town is like, "We're not here for that."
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there you go. Israel Defense Force comes in this one, and they are TBD, but they do not appear to be good guys in
no,
this.
yes.
That's I think they explicitly state I thought they were our allies. So
Yeah, well, because they steal a Black Hawk helicopter at the end.
yeah, not really a good move.
Yeah.
Uh
But yes, I guess it's an interesting place. Like, now you can't really have the IDF without like some questionable politicalness to it. But like back in the early 2000s, there was still a lot of questionable politicalness to Israel, but it was less hot at the time. Like
less
less,
yeah, less of a hot button issue.
yeah.
Even though arguably it certainly still should have been.
Yes, definitely should have been. Well, I guess
Definitely
there
should
wasn't
have.
not actively in the middle of well, yeah. Well, actually there kind of was. So yeah, no,
They
you're right.
were,
They just
but
actively should have
I
probably should have been paying more attention
I
then, but
think there was perhaps a significant event that had the attention on a different part
of the Middle
of the
East.
Middle East at the
Yes.
time.
That is true.
Would probably have done it. Would play a big role in that. All of that
Yeah.
so far.
Yes. God, like I wonder if we ever do
My
Fables,
goodness.
that'll be the other question.
Fables.
Oh,
The
it's another famous comic book around the same time. And
I'm
like
actually
what
very aware of Fables. That's about like storybook characters.
yeah, just there's at
Yeah.
one point like one of the characters does like a very pro-Israel speech.
Oh,
I
pro
wonder how that I
Israel
wonder how
speak.
that translates now.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'd be curious, but I imagine that would not be in the first two volumes.
No, no. It's actually
No,
quite a bit later.
there you go. All right. Some other things with this story want to sort of reflect on something that I've certainly remarked on as a theme as we've been going through different manga and comics is the element of doing mise en scène, starting things in the middle of it, which this one
That
does as
that's
well.
I don't think that's mise en scène.
What?
Mise en
Pretty sure
scène
it's.
is what you see on front of the camera.
I thought, what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of
Oh yeah, I'm completely wrong. What's that
yeah,
term?
what is that term?
What's that term?
To be fair, mise en scene's a great term because like if you're ever watching a
First,
movie, you can describe literally everything as mise en scène.
everything
It's the
is
most
me.
pointless term. Like it's a film term, but like in reality, like
Ah, it's in media
in
res.
media res. There we go.
Oh
Yeah,
man, it's a Latin term, mise en scène. So for in media res, mise en scène. There's
yeah,
some. Anyway, I appreciate there. So I guess I mean it. So I'm not wrong. It is also mise en scène.
yes. Everything's mise en scène.
Everything is mise en scène. But I appreciate the mediason. I can't even remember what I just said.
In medias res.
In medias res, starting in the middle of things.
Yes, which does the whole in medias res, then immediately flashes back to before.
Yeah, I mean that's where I go. That was the part of this that I didn't. I know that I didn't like. I don't like time jumps. I'm learning. I don't have the patience for them. If I have to read the text and you tell me that this happened 13 minutes ago,
Yeah.
just put it before. I think it's one of those things like I don't understand why do it that way.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in this specific time, I get what they're trying to say is like, here's like five different reasons everything went like that. Because like all those individual stuff is like the clone and the amulet
Oh,
and all that. And
Oh, they're
like
trying to say
Yorick,
like could be the different
like
reasons.
what? Yeah, is one of these the cause of what happened? And
Hmm.
then Yorick, heck, did Yorick proposing to his girlfriend cause it to happen?
Right. Yeah, that's true. So I don't mind that one as much. I think it's the fact that it keeps happening throughout this. They do a lot of bouncing back and forth,
Yes, that's
um,
true.
which I think is just sort of, again, I think it's one of those styles of the time things where it's sort of like, this is the exciting moment. Now let's do the things that get to the exciting moment. When it
Yeah,
just
yeah, they,
feels
they
like,
do a lot of pointless ones too. Like they like show Yorick getting beaten up in front of the Washington Monument and then jump back. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like really didn't need to do include. I guess it's so gotta remember always this was originally done in like comic books.
hmm.
So like with
So I
this
know
like
it's,
throw the hook right at the start and then
that's exactly what it is. But
yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like have faith in your story, have faith in your narrative that you,
Yeah.
or at least know that you're a good enough writer to be able to make the start of it interesting no matter when it is in your story. Like you shouldn't feel like, oh, this part's really boring, but I have to do it first. It's like, no, well, then make it exciting instead of putting this other random part as a hook. Because yeah, I found it really annoying that it would just like time jump constantly, in really small and insignificant ways. That's a great example that you have to show him getting beat up from the Washington Monument. Like that's what kind of a hook is that? But that's another great example of that the strength of this story where he's not some like I'm the strongest, like no, he just like gets jumped, it gets like super beat up and the agent has to like save him after she just let him get beat
Yeah.
up for a while because she's like, no, I let you get beat up for 10 minutes so that you would learn your lesson.
Yeah.
Like that's great. That's
355 is great. I think she's
yeah.
like one of the strongest. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was
She's,
worried
she's one
when
of
I
the
thought
strongest.
she died.
Oh.
I was
Yes.
concerned because it for sure I thought she was dead.
Oh, when she hit her head? Yeah.
Yeah, when it shows her bleeding out on a rock, it kind of looks like she died very clearly. Um, man, but there is what I didn't realize. I was looking into this. I didn't realize that it's apparently this is a trope, eh?
Which
The
one?
concept of gendercide is actually a big enough common theme in media that it has its own page with lists of things that involve
Oh,
gendercide
yeah, I guess.
across all forms of media.
Yeah.
So it is certainly not a common take, but it is a take that exists.
Yeah.
But I was asking before about the inverse, where if it were women were wiped out, can you think of any examples you know of?
Yes, actually, the video game N64 video game Battle Tank
Ah,
is
you
all
son of
about
a gun. I was so excited to see if you could guess battle tanks.
Yes, Battle. That game's great.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
was so
99% of the
excited.
world women population has been knocked out, so it's all you have to fight for your.
Your fiance has been captured by the government. This is the
Yeah.
one that I found, and I was so excited to surprise you with that fact. But of course, I can't surprise you. Why did I even think I would get that moment?
Uh,
What a fool I was, thinking I could pull one over on you.
do you
Nope,
remember Battle Tanks? Because that game
I
was
sure
awesome.
do. That's why I was going
Yeah.
to mention it.
Yeah.
That's,
Griffin Army, the Nuclear Knights.
oh,
The,
and they're
the,
called the Griffin Army because your name is
yeah.
Griffin.
So the Griffin Army are the main characters,
Oh.
and that's why they get a random thing where everyone else has like a set one. The Griffin Army get a random one because of the
Oh.
protagonist.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they had
Wow.
great faction names. Urban Decay, that's a good name for a
I'm
faction.
impressed you remember all of these. I don't remember it that well. But yeah, it turns out gendercide something of a theme, including in the great
Yeah.
N64 game Battle Takes, as
Yes.
stated.
Yeah. Also, for the opposite of this, which is the not that I've ever actually watched it, but I know World's End Harem is like the worst example of the harem anime
Hmm,
take on this.
there you go. So it does exist, as I suspected.
Yeah.
Uh, um, something I don't want spoilers, but I am curious. Do they eventually reveal the cause of the plague?
They do not.
They do not.
No.
Okay, that's what I
Uh
was.
yes. The one interesting thing about it is Brian K. Vaughan once said one of them is true. It is caused by one of them, but it's up to you to figure out which one it is.
Did someone figure it out?
I don't know, maybe. Because they
Oh.
also give you more of them as the time, like more stuff that happened on that last moment.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's kind of cool that he's teased that, but maybe that's also a very clever selling tactic to make people like
Yeah,
talk about
pour
it
over your
further.
work. Because also
Yeah.
the really big important stuff is like, okay, why did Yorick, which they do answer, why did both Yorick and Ampersand live?
Oh, they do answer that
They do
later.
answer that part
Okay, well,
because, yeah, because that's kind of an important, because like it can't just be like some weird effect. Something
just
caused it.
'cause, yeah.
Yeah, because it's both of them too. So like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, if you're curious, you just have to read on to find out.
yes,
That's why it's quite clever, but yeah.
yeah. But it very much, I think, as I mentioned, it like goes through like different plot, like
Hmm.
like the next one is like they learn about the man on the International Space Station and then try to go
Right.
save them and get them back and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. Because
Well,
I guess you even meet Natalia in this one because like the girl who's like talking about the man on the
yeah,
Russian girl, like
we
yeah,
do indeed. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's she's great. I love Natalia. She's like literally one of my favorite characters in comics.
Wow, that's pretty a
Yes.
strong, that's a very strong
Oh
statement.
yeah, she's great. Absolutely. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
So it stands to reason that it sounds like this is something that you enjoyed when you were in university. It's something that you enjoyed greatly again this time around as
Yeah,
well.
might have been a little nostalgic talking, but it was still I still very much enjoyed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think it's a lot of vignettes, the going from one place to the next. Um, the hero's journey. We're going right back to Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah.
With the lone samurai going from town to town,
Yeah.
saving the town. Except that's obviously not what he's doing. But
No.
hey,
We haven't even have a character named Hero to make things more complicated.
no, that's true. Um, yeah, exactly. The hero is the villain, just to make it a little bit more confusing. But the strength of the story for sure is the element that would compel someone to continue reading this, I imagine. I think that that's the main selling point is sort of the questions about what does this world look like and getting to see more of the world.
Yes.
Because that's really what it's about. It's about explore. I think it is for sure. It's an adventure book,
Yeah. And
more
it's
than
like
anything.
and the plot goes all around the world. Like
Mm,
start like that's the thing. First one is like they need to get all the way to They need to cross America first,
hmm.
and then it keeps on going from there.
Yeah, very cool. Would be yeah. I guess I am curious. It is one of those things that it's strong enough that you kind of want to know what happens next.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do own
Just
all the
you
old
do.
original graphic novels, so
There you
you
go.
can borrow
Maybe
them at
it's
some point.
yeah. Well, I very well may do that at some point because certainly getting more into reading things as this podcast has clearly imparted to me that I enjoy reading stuff. So yeah, these ones I went through pretty quickly. I think I finished this in like a weekend.
Yeah.
Um, they're enjoyable. They're easy reads. That's part of it as well. The dialogue is really snappy. There's always something going on. It's a good mix of action plus dialogue plus movement and storytelling. So it doesn't feel like it's ever like too slow.
No,
Um,
they do a very good job of making something happen like every equivalent of something happens every issue, but also never having people fight for no like the classic problem with comics. You need to have a fight in every issue, so sometimes like good guys just punch each other for like a couple panels, and then we're like,
mm,
oh, it's you. No longer need to punch you. None of that
yeah,
stuff kind of happens.
just good. I did find that the standoffs that happen in this are very strange. All of them are very weird in these first two books. Between the one at the White House where she accidentally shoots the hostage to the one in Morristown or Ville or whatever it's called where she throws an axe into the other woman's head after he calls her hatchet faced. And then they just sort of like shoot one arrow and then it's just sort of chill after that. Like
Yeah,
it's a lot of sort of,
that's a good point. It's interesting how nothing really. Yeah,
yeah, there's
people were pretty chill after Victoria gets killed, which I
yeah,
guess
for
actually that's
killing the cult leader, they like did not react. Which there's no way that that's how it would have gone down. But
yeah.
I digress. Yeah, Any other thoughts or things that you reflected on as you were rereading Why the Last Man?
Yeah, covered most of it. It was a good time. A good be interesting. So the other two comics that were like this were Preacher and 100 Bullets. I'm sure we'll end up going to those as well. Like
Uh,
for me, the same like the era of me reading voraciously buying comics of these at Strange Adventures in Halifax from the comic
mm,
store in Halifax.
and so is it because this was sort of one of Vertigo's big ones at the time?
Yeah, and I think something spoke to me about it. I think I probably found
Perhaps
like the first
the
volume at
young
a
20s male lead.
yeah, probably what often was the case. I probably bought like the first volume at a comic
Mm,
Vancouver Comic Con for super cheap or something like that,
right.
and then wanted to read more.
More, yeah. I mean, it's the kind of story you want to find out more about and be able to explore this world and see the interesting ways in which women are running the world.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, it is super interesting.
when the Secretary of Agriculture becomes the president because everyone above her. Wow,
Yeah.
I was
I
telling them
mean,
that
she
that was a
seems to be
very
like a
clever.
really, it seems to be like she is a really good president. It's
Oh
sort of
yeah,
like, they're like, was sort of the right takeaway.
she
She's like, oh, she's like, gonna
yeah,
be good at
she
this.
steps up when she needs to.
Yeah, that's her shine. And she has the right motivation. But yeah, why the last man? It's a fine title. I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
weird
I
to
guess the
say,
one other
but
thing to mention, so they did make a television show of this a couple years ago.
okay. I imagine it wasn't good.
I don't think it was very good.
It does seem to be the case that often adaptations are not good. But
That's
I haven't seen it, so you never know.
yeah,
Maybe it's fine. Who's to say?
yeah. I don't. I think it lasted like yeah, okay, yeah, it lasted one season, and
There you go.
yeah, which I think also like one of the things this thing kind of covers, but also just kind of like don't worry about it is like trans people, which is this is an entire other conversation.
Oh, that wasn't there.
Yeah, and then apparently the show goes like way more into it. I don't know. Like I
Hmm.
haven't watched it, so because the question is like they do mention that trans people exist at one point, so it's like there would be some people who so like why does everyone just assume Yorick's like naturally male? But
Hmm.
it's kind of one of those things
True.
that's like just don't worry too much about it. It's probably I feel the comic handled it best of like yeah, it's like a thing, but don't worry about it for a narrative.
Yeah. I handled it best as that I think the Amazons were killing those people.
That's
Is
true.
how it was handled.
Yeah.
Which, isn't great, but the
No.
Amazons aren't great either. So I mean I mean, unsurprising considering their modus operandi and their desire to then murder Yorick. Uh, but yeah, very early 2000s, as stated. It feels 2002. Certainly has those elements in there. But to wrap it up, if you're curious, you want to read more, find out about this storyline, maybe you'll actually want to keep reading, find out how did Ampersand and Yorick survive this male apocalypse. Uh, or I guess female. I don't know. I don't know how to describe the
Yeah.
gender side of all
Yeah.
males, all male mammals. Uh,
The end of the Y chromosome.
wait, do they do like? Do the male lizards survive?
Yes. Explicitly. It's
What?
only it is only mammals.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
So
not
like lizards, insects, fish, all those
birds.
survive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is really important because like if all the male insects died, the apocalypse would be over like within a month. Like everyone would just die. Like it would be so much worse than half all the male.
Why?
Like if because the entire food chain would collapse.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay. I guess they need to have that loophole. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good news. Eggs are still on the menu.
Uh,
So if you're curious, you want to find out why the lizards survive. Well, go check out Why the Last Man. Uh, but other than that, Spence, moving into second part of the show, what other content have you been enjoying this past 2 weeks? Movies, TV shows, games, books, things that stood out to you.
yeah. I guess I've been playing the hell out of this game called 100 Days Last Defense Academy.
100 Days Last Defense Academy. I have never heard of this.
It's by the Danganronpa guy or the Danganronpa guys. You ever heard of Danganronpa?
I think I borrowed Danganronpa from you for a while.
Yeah, I don't think you got very far in it.
I don't think so either. Well, at the same time, I was gonna say I think we put in like 20 hours, and I was like, that's probably like not even very far into Danganronpa.
No, I don't think. No, that would finish Danganronpa because I think because you finished Zero Escape. That's the one you played a ton of.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. So for those not familiar, these are all a bunch of like Japanese mystery death game puzzle kind of things.
Yeah, yes, they're visual
Um,
novel, death game visual novels for the
death game
PlayStation
visual
Vita.
novels. Yeah.
It
Okay. No,
originally came out on the PlayStation Vita.
I never played Danganronpa. I played something on a boat to
Yeah,
its
so you
conclusion.
played Zero Escape.
Okay, but then there was also one that was like inside of some sort of medical
Yeah,
facility.
yeah. So you that those are the first Zero Escape game you finished, which was 999, and then you played the second one. I don't know if you finished that one,
I
which
did
was
not.
yeah, Virtue's Last Reward.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could not tell you anything about the plots of either of those. I just remember the setting and that it's like some sort of crazy mind bend situation.
Yeah. That very apt description. They're awesome. They're
Yeah.
yeah. Danganronpas are also awesome, and Last Defense Academy also like it's kind of game where like I guess you're probably never gonna play it, so
Nope.
no. So I'll just go full spoilers. If
Okay,
you have
heads up for those who want to play
for those
Last
who are
Defense
interested in it,
Academy.
if you've ever liked Danganronpa games, play this game blind. It'll be so much more fun. And also, if you've ever played 13 Sentinels, same idea, similar kind of game. Also, like the other one, this is like a spiritual successor to, even though like no one involved the same. It just has very similar themes. Also amazing, but like, so spoilers for this one in three, two, one. So the like idea behind the game, which makes it so awesome, is the whole like the first like 20 hours, the first 100 days are just like the setup because like
Okay.
so like your characters like learns he has superpowers, needs to go like to a school, prevent invaders, and like save the world with like his like little group of friends of like crazy characters. They have to last 100 days. Stuff goes wrong, people get killed, all that stuff. And then
Yeah.
he gets to the end of it, and he's like, "We failed." Like 100 days go by, and he's like, "We failed." But then but he gets like at the very end, he gets the powers of like one other guy, and it's like with this power, you can now go back to 100 days. So the actual plot of the game is like then going through those 100 days again with your knowledge and like making just different decisions. What makes it super cool is like for the first 100 days of the game, there's no decision making. It's just like a linear story. But then when you go
Mm.
back, now you have like decisions. And now the game starts having branching plots after you've already gone through the game once. So after you've already had all this information,
Ah.
now you have the whole of like now giving those options again. Which of the two options do you pick?
Hmm.
So yeah,
In
it's
order to try
really
and
cool.
survive.
Yeah, really cool idea for a game.
Cool. And it looks like it's a visual novel, but it's also like a turn-based strategy.
Yes, which is part of the like how it's very 13 Sentinels, very similar with the same. Yeah, it's also like a
Hmm.
very puzzle based turn based strategy game.
And have you finished it? Or you're still working on
I'm
it.
still working on it.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
so super great game.
And this
Probably
came out recently.
yeah, this year. It
This
took
year,
me
April.
yeah, took
Uh,
me a while to get to it because like I'm very anal about I want to always own my video games, so I like never buy.
mm,
So and I thought this game was only available as a download, but apparently not. Apparently there was a physical release. I just missed it completely.
mm.
So I was able like I literally saw like a games deal page mentioning, oh, this physical version of 13 like of 100 line Last Defense Academy is now available. I was like, that had a physical like is now on sale. It's like that had a physical release. Okay, great.
Wow. Time
Yeah.
to commit to it. Time to finally get on it.
Yes. Super good
Wow.
game.
Cool. There you go.
Yeah.
What very interesting and a fun genre for those that haven't engaged with it before as well.
Yes. Yes. The PlayStation Vita visual novel game was a great thing. I guess you didn't play the PlayStation Vita, but you played the Ace Attorney games. You liked those.
I did. I, in fact, got them on the Switch and haven't touched them. But maybe one day I'll loop back around to those and give
Because
them
I
a
think you only ever
shot.
played the second and third. I don't think you ever played the first one.
The first,
Ace Attorney.
I think I did. I can't remember at this point. I don't have the same memory lock-in that you
Yes.
do.
Yes.
So I'll take your word for it.
I think people
I
can
never
probably
played
notice
the
that
first.
I can remember your life better than you can lots of the
Well, I don't know about those elements of it, but I can remember, you can remember our
time.
shared childhood
That is true.
better than I can sometimes.
Uh,
Because, yeah, my brain decided that knowing which Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games I played was not an important enough a thing
which I
to.
guess the inverse of that is my brain decided it is important enough to know which Ace Attorney games you played.
Yeah, you decided that's
That is important
important to
enough.
you.
Yeah,
It's
that
pretty
I must
funny.
know which ones my brother played.
Yeah, really critical core information to lock in. Oh my goodness. I mean, speaking of siblings, the only thing that I've really added onto my repertoire is the second season of Nobody Wants This is out on Netflix. It's a rom-com about Kristen Bell, a podcaster, and her sister. They have a podcast together. Whoa, sibling podcast, the parallels.
I
Um,
see why you were late.
but it's about they have a relationship podcast, and then Kristen Bell starts dating a rabbi, and it's about their relationship and her sort of exposure to Judaism and navigating that space. And it's a good old rom com.
Interesting.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's easy watching.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would think it would be from that description.
Yeah. Two seasons
Um,
on Netflix, so hopefully it doesn't immediately now get canceled.
yeah, fingers crossed it doesn't get the Netflix group of death. I don't think it will. I think it's strong. It has a fairly large following, but I also know that that's not
No, that's
a good way to stop things. But I'm like, it's also super like low budget.
that probably helps more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no special effects. It has yeah, there's zero special effects. It's all like regular shots. They're not going on big trips anywhere or anything. So yeah, hopefully that keeps it going because it's a fun story and the characters are great. And apparently the male lead was on the OC. I don't know. These are things I get told, but
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we had to. Yes, I have never watched a single episode of The OC.
I haven't either. All I know is through osmosis and
Yeah, I think most of my knowledge comes from the Dear Sister Lonely Island video.
yeah, which I think is a really important part of everyone's. I mean, what's really interesting is that for those that are not familiar, it's a ridiculous moment in the OC where
Yes.
I guess someone got shot and they play their death in slow motion.
Yeah, they
We're
play the "Ooh,
playing,
what you say" song.
which is Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap.
Uh,
The
yeah,
reason I
wouldn't be able to tell you that.
no, I know that because Imogen Heap, that whole album is actually pretty good.
Okay.
It's also very interesting. Like, I think in a different life, I would have gotten into some sort of music production. Kind of, no, I don't think I have any sort of music capabilities myself, but I really enjoy listening to music and sort of analyzing it. And uh, yeah, I imagine a different world where I would have been much more involved with music production. That neither being here nor there, but Imogen Heap has an interesting album.
Yes.
They're very different vocally. It's a
Yes, but
very
then
interesting
the important
song,
part is the "What you say," the "Dear Sister Lonely Island" video, is parodying that part by causing multiple people
correct?
to get shot, and every time someone gets shot, they play
And
"What you say" from the
they play
dub.
hide and seek. Yeah. How are we there? How did we get here? What happened? What happened here? Why are we talking about this? All right. At this point, I think it's safe to say we're winding down towards the end of the episode. And of course, we need to introduce
Oh
what's
yeah, no,
next on
I
the.
guess this should be my turn to ask you. Hey Shane, what are we doing for next episode?
That's right. As we teased at the start of this episode, we are very excited to be doing our first guest episode for episode 22. We are excited to invite the one, the only regular Zach onto the podcast. Regular Zach, for those who might not know, is a Twitch streamer as well as a host of the Arena Regulars podcast, which is a podcast all about Magic the Gathering.
Mhm.
Zach is also a streamer of Magic the Gathering content. And so we thought it'd be fun to have him on because, one, Spence and I are both into Magic the Gathering.
Yes, if the Destroy All Humans episode did not make that abundantly clear.
Yeah, it did make that very clear. What we're going to be talking about, one of the things is the new Dark Horse comic, Elspeth, The Untold Stories. Volume 1 is out. I had hoped to be able to talk about Volume 2, but then they delayed it,
Yes, but
which,
it's time for the short comic podcast. It's just
yeah,
one actual issue of a comic book.
it's true. We're going to be talking about a single issue of a comic book, but we're also going to circle back and we're also going to talk about more volumes of Destroy All Humans.
Yes.
They can't be
The,
regenerated.
yes, the first five. They're
Yeah,
currently released in English now.
there you go. So it's
Catching up.
exciting. It's going to be our first guest episode, our first single comic volume episode, as well as our first time circling back to a previous comic as well. So a whole bunch of firsts, which is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be great to have Zach on and get some of his thoughts on all of those things. I think even though it is just a single volume, the current state of Magic the Gathering and storytelling is very interesting
Yes.
and is going to be a great conversation because even though it's volume one, it's not that long, and not a lot happens. It is very emblematic of a lot of other stuff going on.
Yes, because also the other classic thing is this Untold story was pretty notable when it came out. The story, the Untold story was like because that there was nothing released for that Theros block initially for story wise. It gave us like a two paragraph, like a one page. Here's what happens in Theros, rather than any kind of story or something. Like initially when that
Oh,
block first came out.
wow. So we're going to get to start to talk a little bit about it more,
Yes, yes, we
along with
will.
our friend regular Zach. So something to look forward to. We're excited to have him on, and the three of us will be excited to be coming over the airwaves on the next podcast. Because at this point, we're going to start wrapping it up. If you're interested and want to be able to read the Elspeth Untold stories in advance of that podcast, go pick it up at Vesperia Manga and Comics in the Lower Mainland of beautiful British Columbia, or check it out online at vesperiacomics.com, as well as,
Don't think you'll find this one in a library.
yeah, you're not going to find this one at the library. I was going to say also, if you want to pick up the rest of Destroy All Humans That Can't Be Regenerated, swing by Vesperia, because you can pick that up there as well. All of your comic and manga needs, Vesperia Manga and Comics is there for you. And that's going to be it for episode 21 of the Long Comics Book Club. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow our Blue Sky and Instagram for updates, as well as join us on our Discord to share your own thoughts on Why the Last Man or the next podcast, either Elspeth Untold Stories or more of Destroy Humans
Magic.
They Can't Be Regenerated.
Magic
Yeah.
the Gathering
Or
is the
Magic the
next
Gathering
one.
in general. I also
Yeah.
need to find an acronym for Destroy All Humans They Can't Be Regenerated because it's too long of a title.
Destroy DL. Yeah, I don't even.
Yes. Da.
Dahum.
Dahamu. In advance of the November 22nd podcast, we'll be excited to join you then. Have regular Zach on the airwaves, and we will be with you again soon. But for now, bye bye.
See ya.